Hi, it's me, Vicki Marie, and in today's video we're going to have a look at why nobody likes Andrew Snowden. So we're going to have a closer look at some of the strange things he's said, particularly this first video, and we're going to have a look at all the other things he's said, not only about the Nicola Bulley case, but also the way he's conducted his Twitter account, his social media. When he's supposed to be the police and crime commissioner for Lancashire with lots of serious things going on, he doesn't seem to take it seriously. It's like he's having a great time. He's like he thinks he's Top Gun, some, very contrived videos, etc. So that's what we're going to look at. That's what this video is dedicated to. So we're going to start off with that video, that interview where he said that the police predicted the day that Nicola would be found. And my question is, why weren't they there at the river then if they thought she was going to be found on that day? Why did she have to be found by a medium walking, having a little walk along the river? Why were the police not there at that river? I just don't know. So let's have a look at that. To me, it's the most bizarre thing, Oh, it's taking a little while, sorry. Okay, so let's hear him. Go back to the beginning. Oh, dear me. Oh, I'm so glad when I get back home and I've got like a proper computer that works quickly, an internet that works properly.
Very much in the national spotlight earlier this year during the huge and high-profile operation trying to find Nicola Bulley. You've commissioned an independent review into that operation, haven't you? I know you won't want to say anything that will prejudge that. And I just ask you this: have you ordered that review because you think it's good practice, or because you have particular concerns yourself?
I think for me, thoughts remain with Nicola's family and her friends. What is an absolutely tragic time, and every single step of the way that we're going with this review, family liaison officers are in place, and we're making sure that we do it with sensitive to them as possible. And the reason that we've commissioned the review is because, yes, it is good practice when such a major story has come out and there's been such public concern to address that public concern and ask the questions and get somebody independent to come in. I'm also concerned that in a modern policing era, in a policing investigation that was sadly correct in its hypothesis all the way along, in which officers predicted correctly, very sadly, even the day that Nicola's body would tragically be found. And yet it became such a story, particularly in the national papers, about bungling, incompetent cops, yet they were right all along. So how did the police lose control of that narrative? And I'm grateful to outlets like the Lancashire Post, BBC Radio Lancashire, Lancashire Telegraph, Blackpool Gazette, all who were very measured and sensible in their reporting and listened to what the police were saying. But that wasn't the case with a lot of the national newspapers. And then this became an internationalized, sensationalized story. And TikTok in particular, and online amateur detectives pushing conspiracy theories out, which resulted in vile abuse towards Nicola's family and friends. How did that get so out of hand? And that is one of the clear work streams for the review of the College of Policing.
The criticism that was aimed at the force wasn't just directed at the confidence that they had in their hypothesis about what station felt uncomfortable or had pause for thought.
Well, the ICO have made their statement on the release of that information. I have my own personal private views. This is one area would want to preempt, and I think I'll let the I'll let the college do their work on that, and then we're happy to discuss that once that review is concluded. But I wouldn't want to preempt the outcome of that.
Just finally on this, how close was your contact with the force during that period? Because obviously the force is operationally independent.
I can't direct and control operational resources. So my job is not to ring up the chief constable in the morning and tell him where to put which officers and how to run investigations. They are the professionals and know how to do this. Am I there to make sure that, yes, in times of difficulty, the constabulary has the resources that they need and the backing that they need, but also to make sure that I'm keeping a close eye and holding the force to account in my role effectively as the regulator for Lancashire Police, as the Office of Police and Crime Commissioner. So I was the chief officer team on the case as unfolded, and including on Saturdays and Sundays as we progress through that case.
So, shall we do a bit of a warm-up? So, 2 years in post, what's changed in the past couple of years?
The cells are a lot fuller, I suppose. That's the main thing. So, 2 years in, and what can we see? The number of arrests are up. The amount of kilos of drugs being taken off our roads and streets are up. The amount of police stations that are open to the public are up. The number of neighbourhood and dedicated response teams are up. More officers on the front line. We've not only met our government police uplift target, but we have exceeded it. And if you remember the fighting crime plan that I launched in my first year of office, we set out 5 clear priority areas with actions and pledges underneath to make them happen. One of the things that comes up the most as I go about the county and talk to people is dangerous driving. And the road policing unit, the teams, the TAC ops and these vehicles are out every single day, every single night. We also launched OpSnap, an opportunity for the public who are eyes and ears out there on the roads to send in footage of people committing driving offences, with 2,500 individual submissions made, of which 60% have related to direct action taken against those drivers. And another key area of the fighting crime plan is tackling antisocial behaviour. The number one thing over 70% of you said on my survey about antisocial behaviour is you wanted to see a more visible police presence in our communities. We've got £2 million for the antisocial behaviour hotspot patrolling. We've reopened police stations and we're going to recruit around 100 more PCSOs, building up that visible police presence and making Lancashire safer. And a lot of people don't realise that over 70% of Lancashire is rural. We are a green and beautiful county. And those parts of the county deserve the policing service that our urban areas do. And that is why I've invested over £700,000 in the last year into rural policing in Lancashire, which means we now have one of the most large, dedicated rural policing teams in the country. Cracking down on burglary and robbery is another key priority in my fighting crime plan. And that is why we have launched Op Defender, a force-wide operation in Lancashire to make sure that we target the people who commit those crimes, support the victims, and also help local communities become more resilient. We've invested nearly £750,000 in different programmes to install more CCTV, street lighting, giving out ring doorbells to vulnerable people, all those things that help make it harder for those people to commit those crimes. And then we get to the priority where these mean machines come into their own, disrupting and dismantling organised crime. You will have seen me running out of the back of these in the videos many times with officers going into those dawn drug raids to disrupt and dismantle county lines and other gangs in our area. Nearly 900 arrests for serious and organised crime activities in the last year alone. 10,000 stop and searches, with 70% of those about illegal drugs or weapons. 2 kilos of drugs coming off the streets every single week, and seizing cash off the criminals, going back into the Safer Lancashire Neighbourhoods Fund and being given back to local communities across Lancashire. That's what I'm about. The organised crime gang members in the cells where they belong. So there you have it. There you've seen the work that we've been doing against those 5 key areas. Have we got lots more work to do? Of course we have. And I am really proud and privileged to be leading the fight against crime in Lancashire. And I look forward to, in a year, being able to tell you more about what we've been delivering and achieving for the people of Lancashire.
First and foremost, my thoughts remain with the family and friends of Nicola Bulley, and I'm thankful for all the efforts of the officers, staff and partners who continue to work tirelessly on the search for Nicola. The investigation into the disappearance of Nicola is under the direction and control of the Chief Constable. The unprecedented media and public interest in this case, whilst welcomed for appeals for information, is challenging for the family and friends of Nicola and officers and police staff dealing with unsubstantiated rumours and speculation on a daily basis. I'd like to thank all members of the public who have provided helpful information to Lancashire Police. The Constabulary have released a statement this afternoon from Nicola's family outlining the sad and difficult circumstances that led to the police and family needing to release further personal information. I, like everyone up and down the country, am deeply saddened by this case and want nothing more than Nicola to be found safe and well and reunited with her family. I have regular briefings from the Chief Officer team at Lancashire Constabulary as they continue to search for Nicola, and the Constabulary continues to dedicate significant resources to the search and investigation. The police are being as transparent as they can for what is an incredibly sensitive and complex case. This includes external support from the National Crime Agency and others as appropriate. Here he says, perfect example of the worst of what's happened in parts of media around the sensitive and complex search for Nicola Bulley. Superintendent Smith is a detective, so doesn't wear uniform. She's also got more on her mind than what a clickbait journalist thinks of her choice of office wear. I actually agree with that. Anyway, we won't go into that. So notice he puts a lot of pictures of his baby on here, which surprises me because I'm just going to skate over them, but it's not me who's putting them on. He's putting these pictures on publicly. So on February the 19th, he did say, my thoughts with Nicola's family and friends at a difficult time. I'd like to thank the Lancs police officers and staff working on scene across the force. Please can we see respect and privacy with Nicola's family and friends and the police as they go about their work. So he's just updated. Shared this tweet by Lancashire Police, February the 19th. You may be aware of police activity around the river near St Michael's. We want to provide you with an update on that activity. We were called today at 11:36 a.m. to reports of a body in the River Wyre, close to Rawcliffe Road. I still don't know why they weren't there still searching. Honestly, just don't know. Why did it have to be found? Why did Nicola have to be found her body by a stranger, not the police, not her partner? Sorry, but it should have been there. Anyway, then he's urging respect to and privacy for Nicola's family. Another heart-wrenching day for Nicola's family starts, and a difficult day for those working on her case. A reminder of a call for respect and to give her friends and family privacy to deal what the day brings, and police space to do their job. Then we've got a rest in peace, Nicola. Very sad end to the search, but at least an end to the agonising not knowing for her family, so they can hopefully grieve with privacy for the loss of a mother, wife, daughter and friend. My thoughts are with them all. Very nice. What's this Facebook? Let me just go into that. He's taking us to a link, so we'll just see before if we want to read that. No, it's not available. Okay, not available, that Facebook. Now, this is his where he commissions. Andrew has commissioned the College of Policing to undertake a full independent review. Although the constabulary's hypothesis was sadly correct, the public understandably feel questions remain which need to be answered. Oh my God. Now, yeah, our thoughts remain with Nicola's family at this time. Let's have the actual. This was the breaking news on Sky News. Somewhere here we have got the actual interview. Yeah, here it is. Let's see what he actually said.
The investigation, which was going through meticulous pieces of the scale of interest 24/7 in the investigation, which was going through meticulous pieces of evidence and intelligence, has obviously meant that the narrative has been lost at times. It has meant that people have generated concerns that they haven't been able to get answered as quickly as they would like. And therefore, yes, it probably has had an impact on public confidence. That is unavoidable. And that is why I think it is really important that we make sure that an independent review, not the police internally just looking at themselves,
It's not an
independent review is done to
not.
give assurance around the things that we've done well, and to ensure that any lessons learned, not just for Lancashire, but for police forces across the country and other partner agencies, can learn from any lessons that need to be learned.
An independent
The scale
review.
of interest.
How is the review independent? Somebody tell me that. Yeah. And then he's back to all these smiley selfies. Oh, he goes out with the dog team. I love this. So the dog, oh, bless. The dog, oh, no, go past the baby. There's a picture of the dog attacking him somewhere. Oh, let's see, where is it? Anyway, it'd be further up. And this is where they were actually, because I thought this was a bit, is this of course looks like Willow, and at some point, right in the middle of it all, they started asking for dogs. Strange, isn't it? Police dog recruitment. Do you have a working breed dog like a Labrador Springer or Cocker Spaniel that is under 3 years old? Are they full of energy and enjoy ball play and searching? If so, if you want to rehome your dog, and this picture of this dog looks just like Willow, and don't get wrong, I'm not saying that they shouldn't apply for it, but it was right in the middle of everything. They've got no March the 3rd, just after a body had been found, and everybody was, they've got no sense of propriety or whatever, because I remember seeing that when it came out and thinking, oh my God, that's Willow. What's this story about Willow? Because we all had Willow on our mind. Anyway, then he's back to what he's having for dinner. A nice chicken there, tamarind slow cooked thighs from one of Kaz's guests, all the other food that he made, bruschetta salad, deli style slaw, onion rings and corn on the cob. He's got no sense of, there's an expression, self-monitoring. Self-monitoring is like when you you think about the image you're projecting out to the world, how you're making people feel, he hasn't got any self-monitoring. It's just, you know, I want to put some photos on of my dinner or my wine or whatever. Just ridiculous. So he was on the... So he started the week taking live questions from the public on the BBC Lancashire Call the Commissioner show with Sharon Hartley. That's interesting. Let's have a little listen to that. Wonder if we can see, or maybe that's been taken off. Yeah, can't be found. Nothing can be found. No, have they taken off all his videos? The video where he said that the police had predicted the date she would be found. Oh, that's his dog. Nice dog. Nice dog, Andrew. At least you like dogs. I wish I could find that video of you being attacked by the police dog. Drug dealing. Right, I need to go back down because I want to find the video where he oh yeah, we did that. Yeah, where he said he's going to have an independent review, which of course is not independent. Then they tried to change the thing. Oh well, another beer. Yeah, another beer. Have a good another meal, etc. Tried to change the narrative. They brought out this Operation Warrior. Trying to detract, I suppose.
And it sets the priorities and budgets and resources for the county and how we're going to take the fight to criminals. It also sets out how we help local neighbourhoods, communities and individuals become more resilient in preventing and deterring crime from happening in the first place, whether it be prevention and youth activities and diversionary activities all the way through to things like CCTV, lighting and the way public spaces are designed. So we launched the Safe Lancashire Neighbourhoods Fund. It has 3 strands to it: the Police Innovation Fund, the Community Grants, which are up to £10,000, and the Fighting Crime Grants, which are the big grants to help with designing out crime in hotspots of criminal activity. So that all sits alongside the Police Uplift Programme, more officers, a more visible police presence that we know everybody wants to see, but also getting to the root causes is really important. So what I've done is I've taken all the money that we seize off criminals through the Proceeds of Crime Act, so those people who create the blight in communities in the first place, and now we put that money into the Safer Lancashire Neighbourhoods Fund and give it back to the communities that those criminals exploited, and to new innovative ideas in policing to be able to get more criminals behind bars and seize even more money that we can give to local communities.
He has no gravitas, does he? I mean, he talks a good talk, but there's no gravitas in the way he talks. I don't know. He's like smiling, laughing. He's like bloody Top Gun. That's interesting. It'd be interesting to go and see the museum, the police museum. Yeah. So, back to the. So this is March the 19th. All about the food. Family. I'm very surprised he puts these family pictures on. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that at all. Like pictures of your baby on there, really, I don't think that's appropriate. But anyway, there you go. That's him. It's doing that, not me. Just, you know, before anybody complains to me about putting children on, I'm not putting them on. He put them on. Let's have a listen to this.
And Crime Commissioner, and I am in a very sunny Clitheroe today at the heart of the Ribble Valley. I'm joined by Superintendent Croken, the Operations Commander for East Division, and we are here today because we are speaking to the new officers who've been recruited into the new dedicated neighbourhood policing team for the Ribble Valley. This is the final area of Lancashire where I pledged that we would make sure that we end the hybrid model where police officers were being asked to do 2 jobs at once. I believe every community in Lancashire deserves the basics of policing, open police from countering in each district of the county.
I just think it's interesting how he talks a really good talk, doesn't he? He really does. But when you look at the actual figures, the results.
A dedicated neighbourhood response teams backed up by those rural and urban task forces. And this step will mean that every area of the Ribble Valley will now have a dedicated named local police officer. I think that's a It's absolutely fantastic. The residents of Ribble Valley, what we've now got, that you described there, Andrew, is dedicated neighbourhood policing teams. So you will have a named officer in your specific area, but also on top of this, we've got a task force looking rural, combating rural crime across the area. And also, thirdly, our operating model means we will have a dedicated 24/7 response function capability. So we are increasing enormously the resources we got to police Clitheroe, Ribble Valley, and the wider area as well. And this is fantastic, from Whalley through to Longridge, through to Clitheroe, through to all the areas of the Ribble Valley, through the rural bits, the towns and the villages. Dedicated 24/7 response team. Policing's coming online in a few months. Neighbourhood policing team at the end of this month, backed up by rural and urban task forces. Delivering on my pledge that every area of Lancashire should have their own dedicated police team.
There you go. So all his he's doing all his election pledges is bloody brilliant. And oh dear, what's up here? Oh God, he's burnt his hand while he's cooking. Oh my God. So do you think he's trying to be more approachable by putting all these sort of domestic pictures on? I mean, he is the Commissioner for Police for Lancashire. It is a serious job, but you know, I don't know about putting on all his food and his dinner and his wine, etc. What's this one?
Of funding we have just secured from the government for Lancashire specifically to tackle antisocial behaviour. It is one of my #1 priorities to make our streets safer, our town centres safer, our villages safer from antisocial behaviour that is a blight on communities and individuals, all the way through to intimidation, through to low-level vandalism and thieving and opportunistic shoplifting that we see, all the things that make people annoyed, feel unsafe and are a detriment to town centres and other streets and areas and neighbourhoods across the county. This money will fund additional police patrols, additional police shifts to really get out there, increase that visible police presence in our communities and make sure that people know that the police are about and will be dealing with antisocial behaviour. I know we've got lots more work to do on tackling antisocial behaviour. It's one of the reasons why I stood for this job, because I wanted to see so much more done about it. We've got the Police Uplift programme, we've got the new antisocial behaviour problem solving team coming on this year, we've reopened police stations, we've got dedicated neighbourhood policing teams for every area. Through the Safer Lancashire Neighbourhoods Fund, I've given away nearly £600,000 to tackle innovative new ways of policing and to support community groups to still look at the root causes of antisocial behaviour. But this money secured from the government will be a real boost to bolstering that police front line and addressing antisocial behaviour in towns across Lancashire.
Well, they've got loads of money. They're taking the money off the criminals. They've got this £2 million extra funding to tackle ASB hotspots. And then what's this? Yeah, that's the same one. What? Not had a flat tire for years. Oh, and then this Operation Warrior. So yeah, I mean, I know he's got more things on his mind than just the Nicola Bulley case. I mean, he's got massive, you know, it's not just about that. But you know, here we go again. He's there in the kitchen cooking his dinner, and yeah, there you go. Oh, lovely, with buttered new potatoes crushed in pesto and tender stem broccoli, sautéed with shallots and chilies. I don't know. Oh, I like his dog. More food, more beer. You know, I'm a bit speechless because obviously we know he has a life. You know, he has a family life. Of course, he cooks dinner, he has a beer, and he does those things. But really, is that really appropriate for the commissioner? You know, it's not like PC Plod, like, you know, he is the commissioner for the police. He's supposed to surely, the police and crime commissioner for Lancashire. Right, what's this one? Let's see. Oh, that's just more about that. Oh, more food, more wine. Having a dig at Keir Starmer. Easter weekend. What do we think of that? Do we think it's good that he's showing he's a real person, you know, pictures with his family and making dinner and, you know, you name it, he's doing it, you know, in his social life? Or do you think really that's not appropriate, that there's no gravitas there? There's no, you know, he's always smiley. He reminds me when he does, look, when he does the poses for the photos with the police and everything, or you see him walking along like Top Gun, isn't it? You know, I don't know. I must be old-fashioned. I think I'm old-fashioned. Maybe he'll appeal more to young people doing that. To me, I just think, what a prat. You know, look, he's doing that. I mean, even you know, Boris Johnson didn't do that, even though we knew he was doing all that with his, but he didn't go on his Twitter and put all these photos on of what a great time he was having. It's a bit. Oh, here he goes with. Let's have a look at him with.
And Commissioner, and it is fantastic today to welcome a man who needs no introduction, Rishi, our Prime Minister, to Burnley, to Lancashire.
Look at the size of Rishi. Rishi's like a little pocket. I always call him the Winnie Pooh Prime Minister because I can't take him seriously. He's weak. And he does. Anyway, let's have a look.
To talk about many things in the local elections, but for me personally, it is a wonderful opportunity to thank the Prime Minister for the £2 million that we're getting as a trailblazer area to tackle antisocial behaviour with those high visible policing patrols. And thank you for all the work you're doing to put it front and centre at national policy that's going to benefit us all here in Lancashire.
Well, Andrew, it's great to be with you. Great to be here in the Northwest and in Lancashire. And you're so...
What's all this bobbing? Like the bobbing, it's great to be here. The bob up and down, bob up and down. Rishi does it a lot. If you watch Rishi speaking with the sound down, he just looks ridiculous.
Right about antisocial behaviour. It is a scourge that blights our
Absolutely.
communities. We all want to grow up in places that are safe, that are welcoming for our families, for our children. And that's why we've announced a new plan to tackle antisocial behaviour. It's going to mean more money for your area,
Absolutely.
so you can get more visible policing.
Yeah.
It's going to mean immediate justice.
Yeah.
So when people do something wrong, they're going to have to face the consequences of that and fix it. And
Absolutely.
we've got more fines for local areas, for littering, graffiti, and we're going to ban nitrous oxide to make sure that those
Fantastic.
canisters don't blight our communities anymore. But thank you for everything you're doing. We want to make sure that our communities are safe. You're going to deliver it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like a TV show more than like politics. I don't know. I am getting older. When I watch these things, I just think, no, there he goes, he's bobbing up and down. Right, let's watch it with the sound down. Bob, 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 bob up and down. Move your hands, you know, emphasize what you're saying. I just don't like it. They all talk like that these days, but especially Rishi. I think they've all been on the same public speaking course, which tells you to bob up and down and move your hands around a lot. Oh, that was the elections. I don't think May the 4th was the election. I think they lost. Well, let's see, because I'm sure if they won, there's going to be a tweet, isn't there, crowing about it. No. So it goes from polls are open now, vote today, and then never mentions the results. So I think we can safely assume they lost, whoever he was. Oh, hang on. No, re-elected as one of the councillors. Right, okay, so they got one there. Increased majority there, good for them. Oh God, the coronation. Don't even want to go there. More food, more drink. Oh, that's nice. Oh, I feel like I can't leave the picture on because it's got the baby on it, but he's put this picture on. That's a nice picture. Right, so let's have a look at the independent review again.
An incredibly difficult and sad time, not only during the investigation, but obviously since, in coming to terms with their tragic loss. I would like to thank all the officers and staff that were involved in the investigation, who worked tirelessly. I have met many of the staff that were involved in the search investigation and the officers. They worked tirelessly on this case, and I would like to thank them for their service. But for me as Police and Crime Commissioner, my role is to hold the constabulary to account. And I can confirm the College of Policing has now formally been commissioned and has started the work of the independent review into the investigation, into the release of personal information about Nicola, and into the communications handling on everything from social media through to the relationships with the press. And that review has now started. Clear terms of reference have been agreed between myself and the College of Policing, which will be made public as part of a really clear and transparent approach to holding the force to account and learning the things that went well, looking at the best practice. For example, the police all the way through this investigation, their lead hypothesis, what they believed had happened, was correct. But also we know that this became a sensationalized story around the world with lots of criticism thrown at the police. And because of that public interest and the questions that people have, it is important that this review is conducted, has started, and the results of which will be published in due course.
Yeah, in September when everything's calmed down. I don't see. Do you see how? When did it? So he made that interview on May the 9th. Why does it take till September? Yeah, May, June, July, August, September. Why does it take 5 months to make that investigation? Absolute load of rubbish. Absolute load of rubbish. Now, on May the 11th, he said that he'd secured a further 745,000 to tackle domestic abuse. The Drive project. Huh? Yeah. Well, let's see. But why does an investigation take 5 months? I wonder. It's just delaying tactics, delaying tactics. Let's have a look at this.
Things you can touch, things you can believe. 2 years into the job, and it's at this point where you can really start to see the difference of the changes that you have made. And I'm a big believer in change you can touch, things you can actually point to and say, that has changed, that investment has been delivered, that promise has been delivered. So every borough of Lancashire now has an open police front counter where people can go and report crime, which wasn't the case before. Every borough of Lancashire now has both a dedicated response and neighbourhood policing team to start to really rebuild that visible, engaged presence of the police in local communities, whether you live in a village in the Ribble Valley or the heart of Blackpool Centre. There is lots of work across the board that has been happening over the last 2 years. I'm really excited that recently we're able to announce we've exceeded the government police uplift target as well, which means over the coming months and years, those officers will be finishing their training and joining the thin blue line across this county. For me, as long as there is an individual who is part of an elected system to hold the police to account, set the priorities, deliver on what people want. I spent years campaigning for this job. They told me they wanted open police stations. They told me they wanted the local neighbourhood teams back. They told me they wanted to see more taking the fight to organised crime and to increase arrests. And that's what I'm doing. And that's what's important for me, is that whatever the system, whatever the structure, that it is accepted now that an elected individual who can hold the police to account, hold partners to account, and get stuff done is the right approach.
Okay. Oh, so they're talking about phasing out his, his post. Okay. Oh, he's baptized. Running to stay in the role. My thighs about. Oh, there you go. There he is with his beer again. So this was May the 28th. More food, more fun. It's not appropriate what he's doing there. Definitely not, I'm afraid. Oh, that's quite sweet. I understand what he's doing. He's trying to be approachable, isn't he? He's trying to be approachable. So although he's like, I don't know if you can be both. Can you be, you know, can you be too informal? Can you be too informal when you're trying to, you know, when you're trying to be serious and you're the, you know, police and crime commissioner? Shouldn't you have a bit of gravitas? You let me know what you think. Or do you prefer it that he's more personable like that he's sharing his, you know, private sort of food and drink, etc. And so always smiling, isn't it? 'Cause look at it. So like you've got 60,000 in cash seized from criminals invested back into the fight against crime in Lancashire. I suppose you would be happy about that. Sorry, I thought he was just going to be reporting on, you know. Oh, here it is. So lovely. Go back to the beginning.
Are you ready?
I love that. That dog nearly knocked him over.
Piper, out! Go!
Oh my God, look at that. So obedient.
Good boy, stay.
Look at this
Come.
multitasking.
No, come! Piper. Good lad. Good.
Wow.
Felt that one. Told you. Are you ready? Yeah. Hold him. Good boy. Good boy. Good. You there. Stand still.
Wow.
Piper.
That's the dog there. Very well trained. I'd like to say our German Shepherd is as well trained as that, but it isn't. There he is at Pride. More the baby. I don't know if he. Oh, visiting number 10 with his wife. Let's see how near I'm at the top now. I think I'm quite near the top now. Yeah, doesn't really say any more about Nicola Bulley because, of course, now we've got to just wait for the result of the inquiry. God. Well, there's a lot on Twitter, doesn't he? But like I say, not only obviously work things. Just surprises me then when you get all these pictures of his dinners. Oh, notice there's not so many up here. Let's see. Oh, there's his fruits from the garden. That was June the is it June or July? July the 6th. There's not so many about his food and drink. Oh no, here we go. Still debating the fruit combinations or just single fruits for this year. Apricot preserve is definitely on the cards though. Oh, yeah, here we go. That was the empty plates. Yeah, here's back to it. What's he saying there? Oh, that's the crackdown on antisocial behaviour. Don't think he mentions Nicola again. He lost a friend, which was very sad. Where are we there? July the 16th. July the 13th. Yeah, so 3 days later he was posting this. Do you see what I'm saying? So 1 day he's posting, you know, this a colleague that he lost and it's very sad and everything's very sad. And then 3 days later he's back to all this again. So it's all for effect, isn't it? It's all for effect, I think. I'm not saying he wasn't genuinely sad about his friend, but do you see, it's a bit inappropriate. He's on the high vis. There's something Boris Johnson. You rarely see a Conservative politician now without a high vis jacket on and a, you know, or whatever. That's what Boris Johnson started, wasn't it? Men of the people, men of the people, wearing a high-vis jacket and a safety hat. Yeah. Well, that's his Twitter. I think I've done that one. Right. So I'm going to show this one. This will be the last one. It's 1 year of fighting crime.
And then you ask me questions when I finish.
Yeah.
I really wanted to have this job to make a difference to those communities out there who say they're blighted by antisocial behaviour and they don't think there is an adequate response to that, to the dangerous driving that happens on our roads, to the organised crime that is exploiting communities across Lancashire. I wanted to get into this job to be the public voice in policing. That's what the Police and Crime Commissioner is.
There's lots of conversations in respect of chief constables and PCCs in the relationship. I think our relationship works really well because you are the voice of the people. You bring to me the concerns on a very, very regular basis. You hold me to account, and I'm really comfortable with that.
For the first year, I must admit, we're putting more doors in. Arrests for organised crime up by 50%, charges up by 70%. That real clear message that says we are a crime fighting county. We're putting the investment into additional officers and task forces, creation of a new antisocial behaviour problem solving unit, the ending of a hybrid model of policing, making sure that every inch of Lancashire has its own dedicated neighbourhood policing team, £3 to £5 million into the Lancashire Safer Neighbourhoods Fund. And I've reopened all of the police stations that I said I would to make sure that every borough council area of Lancashire have that access to a police front counter. We've invested 700,000 to the rural task forces. They've recovered over £1 million of stolen plant and equipment just this year alone. We've invested over £2 million into victim services to maintain a face-to-face support service for victims of domestic abuse and sexual violence. We've secured £5 million for the rollout of average speed cameras. The number of cars that we've seized has significantly increased. And what we've done is called OpSnap. It's a new platform that enables people to upload that dash cam footage. Where you see the dangerous driving happening, you are our eyes and ears out there, Lancashire. And that's just a flavour of the investments that we've made, the changes that the Chief Constable is delivering on in the force, the way that we are really building up that tempo, that we get stuck into the ribs of criminals and that we lead the fight against crime.
I can feel the difference in respect of when people are speaking to me, they're not saying we're perfect, because we're not. What they are saying, though, is they feel the visible presence, they feel the responsiveness.
And I have no doubt there will be communities out there, there will be individuals out there that still feel they're not getting the policing service that they need. And my view is, I stood for this job because I'm on your side, because that is exactly how I feel. I'm proud of the first steps that we've taken. My message to everyone is, there is lots more to come. Lots of the investments that we make will be a few years before they're fully felt. But we are working on it. We are making sure that we make Lancashire as safe as it can be, that we lead the fight against crime, and that most importantly, the people who are watching this video feel the police are on their side and there when they'll need them.
Oh, there you go. There's your Top Gun. Isn't it? Top Gun.